All right, here we go. Day 4 of week 1 of PT, which is really week 3 of the whole deal. I got my little cheat sheet with me, and let's get the lunges out of the way first. We'll put that there. Hope that shows up. I don't quite have it at. I like the angle I had last night. It worked out really well. All right, we're gonna do the shoulder lunges first. 1, 2, oh yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. Because we have 2 new exercises involved, I just got off of a 3-hour-long phone call with my lawyer, but he's not being employed by me. He's just my lawyer. You might actually see this someday. It was good. And one of the only things I didn't mention to him was I mentioned it to him, but we didn't discuss it. I found videos from another guy who'd been doing distal bicep tendon tear rupture recovery as well. And I thought that was very interesting to see him. His was a 24-week recovery, but he was also a professional bodybuilder. So he had proper, serious concerns with the amount of weight he was doing, although the weight he was doing in the video was nothing that I wouldn't do personally, but maybe he was just being safe. With 24 weeks being 6 months, a little less, average not being 28 days in a month. But 24 weeks, and I'm on week 3 on Friday. Whatever, one day at a time, right? But the idea that it could take that long to get to, I think I told the therapist, Audrey, I wanted to be getting back to my workouts and my routine and my weight loss and my strength building because I like what I saw mentally and physically when I did it. It's a little bit like grinding in a game, All right, let's do the other lunges and get back to what we're talking about. The classic lunges, the classic stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. You guys like it? All the work of a couple minutes to make it up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's been maybe not even 70 degrees in San Francisco, but for us that's like a goddamn heat wave. Especially a guy like me, I'm always a little warm. Yeah, but we get a whole text on the phone. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way. It's a little warm. It mostly affects when I go for the walk and it's really sunny and luckily there's a breeze because we're right by the ocean. It really helps, but it is funny to think like, oh no, 70 degrees, we're dying out here. It may have only hit 65 to be completely honest. I just got through talking to Cray a little bit. We're gonna do a little Photoshop art for his portion of the site on Man Crush. So that's gonna be coming up. Man Crush and Halo Master Chief Mondays. We'll whip that up and it'll look nice for him. I can already see. Let's go look at this real quick when the stretch is done. I see ink on my hands. Am I wearing this, rubbing this off? No? Okay. That'd be great. Let's do this. 2, 3. I was watching streamer Pat Stares At last night, and he was talking about why he doesn't play Destiny anymore. Destiny 2. We all of us old Destiny guys just call it Destiny. As does CDMW, who I was talking to earlier for 3 hours. It was just interesting to hear someone who maybe played Destiny, maybe came into it a little bit later than I, and wasn't as immersed in it and had all the support systems around him pushing him to play it more. It didn't achieve as much. But he said he stopped playing because of the I forget the name of it now. Retiring guns on the sequence every 6 months, and he's like, "Well, I barely have these guns. I get a gun and it's retired tomorrow." Which was the case for him. It was something like he got a gun that was being sunset almost immediately within a week of him getting it. And he's just like, what? And then he watches a stream with like Dado, and Dado's like got a vault filled with 500 guns, all perfect guns, and he's like, there's nothing left for me to grind for. You gotta sunset stuff, so I have something to do. And he's like, the streamer guy's like, Jesus, I barely have anything, and when I get it, it's being taken away, but you're on the other end. It's almost irreconcilable. Oops. Too far. I'll do the last set of these. I feel like I'm doing too many. I don't think there's a big deal if I do too many. Not one too many. 6, 7. I just didn't agree with their removal of content. At some point, there's people who've massaged the numbers to such a degree that half of the game was removed. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I know it was a vanishing number of people that played the raids, but I did not agree with the removal of them at all. And if you wanted people to go do them, you don't do that by removing them. So it's interesting. You could have pushed people to use them. You could have looked at the numbers that they weren't using the raids and pushed them to use the raids more. But instead they were like, well, since no one uses them, we'll take them out. Which is generally like if someone's on the playground and they're like, I brought a basketball and a red rubber ball and a tennis ball and nobody uses one of them, and there's like, oh, I'll just never bring it again. And there's some guy who's like, well, I use them. And there's a guy who was like sick that day. Whatever, it's getting too stressed. But keep it simple. They brought a bunch of balls and we didn't use them all, but it was damn good to have them all. And at some point, people try them. And he was saying, like, just put good rewards in the raids, and then people will go do them. And then I didn't hit the timer on it. And then he didn't, then he went and the streamer Pat went to play some Gambit, and he had to pick up bounties, which you would if you were going to play Gambit. And he was like, I hate doing these bounties. I don't really like this mode. Like, what am I doing? And definitely I liked the dopamine rush when you're like just cashing in bounties. But the bounties were always so just go punch 25 things in Gambit. And you'd be like, could I even, like all the changes they slowly implemented in Gambit over the years, could I even punch 25 things, especially without being a detriment to my team? If the other team like wasn't punching 25 things, they're gonna like kill a lot more shit than you. Maybe you'd be running one of those builds where punching things is really efficient, but still you're running from monster to monster instead of standing there with a gun murdering them. Or you're gonna just throw the match so you can punch more things, like, hey, come donate, it's time for Prime Evil. Like, no, I have to punch like 3 more things. And then you die, and then da-da-da-da. I mean, it's just, it was crazy. I saw how they reworked the PvP bounties where it was like, kill 3 people, complete a match. You know, it was, by comparison, it was nuts. Like, kill someone with a grenade. It's been too long, I'm starting to forget them exactly, but I remember very much the feeling at the time, which was like, go play PvP and basically you'll get them done. It was nuts. Even someone like me who didn't play PvP, in those little scenarios where I was like, these are so easy, what is going on here? Let alone the repeatables for Gambit were nuts. They were like, 50 shotgun kills. You're like, shotgun isn't meta. And even if you're doing it, you go all the way back to the other argument about punching things to death. So it was interesting to see a guy who just, setting aside like removal of things you paid for and disagreements on a lot of things, he was just like, do these simple steps instead of removing content. I don't know that they'll ever get me back. And I paid for the current expansion, paid $100 pre-order, whole thing, because at the time I was having fun with DAG and everything. So even though I have an investment, which should be an encouragement for me to go play it, I don't like their design philosophies and their sales philosophies, and I don't like silver, and I don't like microtransactions, and I'm a dinosaur. But I didn't mind them so much in Destiny 1, where there was a whole different implementation, and they've just been dialing it back and more greedy. And then if you ask my buddy CDMW, they're being greedy for pennies, and they could be making a mobile game, which they are, and maybe make a lot more money like he does. Well, anyway, that was more than I meant to talk about Destiny on our short videos. Maybe we'll talk more about it next time.
No kitty. Aww.